Before the show, we'd like to thank our sponsors, Beef, Beefmaster Educational Endowment Fund. Thank you for what you're doing for the breed and for supporting us. The Southeastern Beefmaster Breeders Association, or SEBA, thank you for supporting us, and be on the lookout for the convention and sale every August. Emmons Ranch Beefmasters, they need no introduction. They've been around for years. Thank you for always breeding great stuff and for supporting our show. C&M Ranches, Kershaw, South Carolina, the Chick family, great cattle. Thank you for supporting us. Lissy's Beefmasters, again, needs no introduction. Thank you for supporting us, and be on the lookout for their sales every year. Cottage Farms Beefmasters over in Jackson, Tennessee. Thank you for supporting us and for what you do for the breed. Thank you to all of our sponsors. We couldn't do it without you. Welcome to Beefmaster Banner. We're your hosts, Josh Morrison and Jared Strickland. How's it going, man?
We're just trying to wrap things up for getting ready for holidays, and I guess full-fledged hay feeding on us. So, and trying to get used to this daylight savings time.
Man, nothing like
away. Yeah.
I saw a picture the other day. It said nothing like watching the sunset on your lunch break.
That's what it feels like. And some days, I noticed even like when you driving at 1 o'clock or something in the afternoon, it feels like the shadows are already real long. And
man, it feels late.
Yeah. Yeah. Like even like, the other day I said something to my wife. I said, I can't believe it's just 6 o'clock. Feels like it's midnight.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does, for sure. Yeah, we've been feeding hay for I don't know, a couple of weeks now. It turned off dry here, and it is dry. I mean, I bet we haven't seen a good rain in a couple months at this point.
Yeah, we kind of in the same boat. I think the dryness has shifted to the southeast pretty good, which I know it's still dry out. Texas and places like that, it's probably still pretty dry, but we've kind of caught the drought spell here last couple months too. So
I figured out if you want it to get dry, put 22 loads of chicken litter on your pastures. That'll make it turn dry. It's just burn everything up.
Yeah, it's still stinking too, bro.
Oh man, it's not as bad now. It's been out probably 2 weeks, but yeah, you can still smell it driving through the pasture some. And he put it on thick, so we were hoping for some rain, but hopefully they're calling for a little bit, maybe next week. Hopefully we'll get some to get that in there.
Well, when you look at the climate forecasts and stuff, they're saying we ought to be starting to get quite a bit more moisture, but I hadn't seen it yet.
No, I'll be glad to see it then. But we're going to start tonight with a little bit of controversy. I kind of like some controversy every now and then. And this is a little bit different, and I feel like we're going to get a lot of discussion on this. But are you a decorate for Christmas before Thanksgiving or after?
Well, I'm probably going to be in the minority these days, but we always decorate after Thanksgiving. Always has growing up. I've always thought Thanksgiving was my favorite holiday, so I didn't really jump into Christmas till after I've got filled my belly up full of turkey and dressing and thing, and ate about 10 times.
We've had our we kind of go all out. We've got tons of yard ornaments and lit up, and the house is lit up, and 3 or 4 trees in the house, and ours has been up for, I don't know, maybe 2 weeks or so. I always say it's the Christmas season from November 1st to Thanksgiving. You celebrate Thanksgiving, then you go right back to Christmas. You can be jolly and thankful at the same time.
Well, I can see that, which, I mean, it seems like every year, Black Friday, I was actually talking about somebody about that the other day. Used to on Black Friday or whatever, it's funny how things change where you go early in the morning on a Friday to shop, and now, heck, it's already Black Friday deals going on, so everybody's competing against each other and stuff. So,
well, I remember
things.
Yeah, I remember being younger, and you watched the news with your parents or whatever that night, and you'd see people like getting trampled fighting over stuff, fighting over TVs and game systems. And you don't see that anymore because they start the Black Friday deal so early now.
Yeah, you don't even have to get out of your house. You just shop on Amazon
I
for it,
mean,
I
it
guess.
was it was UFC in prime time.
Yeah. But now I've always enjoyed our Thanksgiving season, but that's usually growing up, that's kind of that weekend after Thanksgiving is when we start decorating for Christmas.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, I know
Traditionally.
a lot of people that way. I've
But
always been I get excited and want to get it out, and I always say we put in way too much work putting this stuff out. I want to enjoy it more than 1 month.
well, that's true. You mean you wanna if you do it later, you don't get as much time with it. Well, I noticed like even our town, they've hung all the Christmas lights and are working on it this week, so they getting ready for it too.
Oh
So
yeah, yeah. It's a fun time of year and a busy time of year. And for those of you that are joining us and listening, when this podcast as it posts, tell us when you decorate. Jared and I talked before the episode. We said this may be a lot more conversation on this than other subjects we've had with cattle. So it
yeah,
might be fun to see what everybody's opinions are.
yeah,
But
definitely comment on that.
also for those of you that's already kind of probably figured it out, we're just going to talk about some different things tonight. We don't really have just one particular subject we're going to talk about. There's a few things that was on our minds, and we're going to talk about those, talk about the convention and some things. So we'll get into it, but this will be our last episode for the year. It's hard to believe it's another year gone.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about that today, thinking about some thoughts to talk about today, and it's hard to believe we've been doing this for 2 years now.
People want to listen to us for 2 years. That's pretty good.
That's saying something, I think.
I guess we'll keep going. But you went to the convention. I didn't make it out this year. It was a long ways down there, but it looked like, as far as pictures and things go, it looked like it went great. Tell us a little bit about it while you were there.
Yeah, it was a good time. It's the first convention I've been to in several years, even though it was probably the most furthest one I've been to. My my ride down there ended up being pretty tough. We got delayed several times on the airplane, so it took a whole lot longer to get down there. But once we got there, we really enjoyed it. My wife went, and she spent several hours on the beach enjoying that, and it was a really neat. It was really neat scenery, and then having the cattle there as well on the kind of right there next to the beach kind of deal. That was pretty cool. But no, it was a good meeting, and then for those that didn't get to go, maybe next time, if you've never been to a convention, I definitely recommend it. There's always good education there, getting to kind of see the inner workings of the breed as well from some of the meetings and obviously and we'll get to that in a minute about the membership meeting, but you get to hear about the updates and the exciting things going on, and it's always a good way to meet other breeders if and network. They've always got a nice trade show. They had a really good one this time, and enjoyed talking to some of the vendors and learning some new things. They had this one fellow there. He had some kind of GPS ear tags I thought was really neat. Uh, so you get to see things that you may not necessarily get to see every day, and the main thing is get the fellowship and go to the meetings and hang out with everybody and kind of network and see what's going on with Beefmaster cattle and get out there. And of course they had a really good sale. The the average, I don't know what the average was, but it was really high dollar cattle, good cattle, and did really well. So just to kind of talk a little bit about what went on in some of the meetings, some new exciting things are coming for 24. If you wasn't able to be there, I talk a little bit about that. BBU's building a new website, so that's something coming here pretty quick. So be watching for that. It's gonna be real nice. And then also on the online account, uh, you know how you if you get online and register your cattle and things like that, they're revamping that. It's going to be a new digital beef kind of deal. You're going to be able to use your same account information and all that. But they were showing some of the things that go along with that, and it's going to really help. I think it's going to be a really good thing. I think that's coming probably in January. I think that's what they were mentioning. But it's going to help BBU side of things as well, making it faster and more user friendly for the staff as well. Uh, and also, so one thing, if you may have seen this in the come in the mail in the last few days, or you got an email. So the general membership did not have enough people to meet a quorum to make the election of to have the election. So I think by the bylaws you have to have at least 10% members vote either present or by proxy. So we were short of that. So I guess to help spread the word, if you get that, please make every effort that you can to get those sent in, so that way we can be legal with our election, and not just because I'm running for the board or whatever, but we really need to get that done. So BBU can, get the new officers in there and get the business going. It's real simple to do. I actually got mine in the mail today. It's already got a stamp on it. All you got to do is fill the form out and stick it right back in the mail. So uh, please be watching out for that if you haven't got it yet. And when you do, make sure to fill it out, put it in the mail, and because we got to have, I think the numbers are in the 280 something like that is what they were mentioning what we got to have. So uh, please make every effort to do that, and that way we can get back to business as usual and get the new officers in there. I'm thinking that has to be done by December the 2nd is when that has to be in, because the meeting is on December the 4th. Also, that's going to be on Zoom if you can't make it to the actual meeting at the office down there. So I'd advise folks to jump on that as well.
Well, and
You can,
they're actually doing, and you may have been getting to it, but they're amending two of the bylaws. Do you have that paper in front of you? I know one was about a state. Um,
yeah, there's a couple of differences, so changes to the bylaws, and I'll be honest with you, is I'm not going to sit here and read all that, but
no, no.
make sure to look at that and vote on that for or against. Make sure you send that in along with the officer thing. So we definitely need to be doing that, and as a reminder, for next year, if you're not going to the convention to be there in person, make sure to send your proxies in. That way this may not happen in the future either. So that's typically what happens is there's either enough people there and enough proxies sent in to make the vote. So we were just a little short this time, but
Well, BBU made it really easy. I mean, right here, which they did to begin with all the convention stuff, which I could see how somebody maybe were just shuffling through and maybe missed it and threw it away. With this, I mean, it's really easy to, like you said, there's a stamp already on it. You don't have to write anything on the envelope.
no, it's
Just check your boxes, fold it up, lick it,
yeah,
put water on it, whatever, stick it in the mail, and it's gone. It
yep,
costs.
it's all yeah, it's already prepaid envelope, everything, so it's good to go. So be watching for that. You should already probably have got it by the time this hits this week, end of this
Hope
week.
hopefully a lot of you too. Uh, this is the time of year where they send out the forms for the committees as well that you can volunteer for. Hopefully, a lot of you will get on some committees or put your name down for some committees because that's where the membership's always heard, but that's where you really can get in there and make a difference. That's what we talk about all the time on this podcast is making a difference and trying to better the breed. That's the way to do it. And it's, they'd only meet one time a year in person generally at the summer meetings. I went this year. I know you couldn't make it. You had some things going on, but it was a great time. They were very well. Everybody had a really good spirit and all the meetings, we got things accomplished. They didn't take too long. Nobody was arguing. nothing like that. I mean, we all come together to make this breed better. And that's what we've got to do in order to grow it.
Yeah, of course. I mean, that's a good kind of like with just going to the convention and networking and stuff like that. The same thing with the committees. You're getting in there, getting involved, and improving things, and we always need good folks to volunteer for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I guess just one more note about the convention, and it just shows you how good this breed is and the people that's in it. The night of the banquet, they had a little fundraiser for Donna's daughter, Laura, for she's battling cancer, and I don't know how much money they raised. I could say 100,000 probably or something. It was a
Wow.
bunch. It's just absolutely amazing. But if you wasn't in attendance and want to do that, I think you can send that in to the office at BBU or call in and let them know that they're taking those donations. But it was a tearjerker. I would say that it was nice to see how much this breed cares about those that work for them.
Absolutely. And I think sometimes we don't, we kind of get in our boxes, and I don't mean that in a bad way, but we kind of get boxed in and doing our thing. And sure, we may disagree with certain people. I may disagree with you on something. We may disagree on how to breed cattle or something like that, or what we think's the best. But at the end of the day, something like that's life altering. We take care of each other, and that shows. And that was shown that night at the convention. And it just shows that we can all disagree. That part really doesn't matter at the end of the day. What matters is that we all stick together. I mean, that's what that's what it boils down to.
Yeah, definitely. It was something to behold for sure.
And we'll for sure keep her in our prayers, and we ask you to do the same thing. Um, moving along to another item, we thought it would be fun to share what our favorite episodes of the year were. Jared, I had some trouble picking one. I told you I was down to about three the other day, and I was still down to about two today.
Yeah.
But I guess I've got to get put on the spot. But I'm gonna let you go first. And what was your favorite episode this year?
Well, for me, it's kind of like this. I went through the same situation as you. I like a lot of them, all of them really. They were all fun. But for me, I just really enjoyed talking to Dave Holloway, which I think he came on twice this year. And maybe it's just because I like talking about markets and those things. I don't know. I just really enjoyed the conversation that he had with us, and I guess it gives us a lot of optimism. So I enjoyed that too. But I just like talking about the market. I get asked that a lot as an extension agent, so I feel like I'm in the market or watching markets and stuff every day. So I really enjoyed that, and I look forward hopefully having him on again and in the years to come too. But like I said, they were all really good. It was hard to pick. I mean, just some other mentions. I really enjoyed talking to Alyssa Lissy and Debbie Cheatham the last time, and Bruce on his episodes, and then talking about some of the production sales with Clark and them and everybody, and even like you know, Gary Osmondson out there talking about that dairy on beef. I mean, that was pretty cool too. So it's hard to really say a favorite, but I guess that was the one that I enjoyed just because I think that's what I like to talk about.
Well, it's important. I don't think we talk about it enough, probably, that, the cattle markets, because we are in the purebred registered industry. So a lot of times, most all of our cattle are going to a production sale, a consignment sale. But you do have to look at a couple things. And this is kind of what stood out to me when we were talking about it was your culls, they still got to bring money at the end of the day. We're all going to have culls. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you've got the best cattle in the breed in the world, you're going to have culls. They've got to bring money, and you want them to bring the best money that they can. So therefore, it's good to be in touch with your markets. It's also, what we do is directly relative and related to the commercial industry. If the commercial industry is down, our purebred industry is going to be down. And if we can stay ahead of that, whether that be figuring out more cost effective ways to do things, or or how to market our cattle better, or whatever. It all goes back to that. And that was enjoyable to listen to and to talk about. I don't know as near as much as I should about the cattle markets and the commodity markets. Still learning them. They're just really confusing to me at times, because you get all these different opinions and different charts and different things, and you don't really know where to go with it. But that's why I like listening to that.
Oh yeah. Well, what's your favorite?
Well, I'm still undecided. But if you're going to twist my arm, I think it was probably so. In narrowing down, I'm like you. It's not that I enjoyed every single episode we've done. We've learned some. I feel like we've both learned something new on every episode we do. Um, the one, I'm going to echo your statements. The ones with Alyssa and Miss Debbie and Gary Osmondson. That was fun, because you don't ever see the dairy side of it, so you don't ever know. If I had them narrowed down to the JBBA, because I love what the youth are doing and how they're building the youth for coming up and breeding cattle and just being good people. I like the beef episode as well. It was in my top three. Just because I enjoy listening to that. I really get into what beef's doing, and I don't think it's talked about enough. But if I had to pick just one, it's probably going to be the pedigrees with Bruce Robbins. I think it's so important. I'm so passionate about it that it comes down, and I know people are going to disagree with me, and that's okay, because they can. At the end of the day, in order to be successful faster, in my opinion, and more effectively, is to find those pedigrees that have consistently produced good offspring for years. And I'm not saying go back 60 years, and I'm not saying don't do that, but whatever pedigree you see out there, it's if I look at a pedigree and I say that name's been on a lot of cattle that I've liked and that have brought good money, and that perform well, I'm gonna probably look at buying that one before I buy one that I've never heard of their pedigree before. Right, wrong, indifferent, I don't know. That's just my opinion. That's why I like that episode, is because I'm so passionate about that.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with what you're saying. You know, uh, being a new breeder too, that's something you can latch on to, and hopefully it'll help you be successful, like you're saying. Because if you're shooting darts, or throwing darts at just here or there or yonder, something may stick, but the chances of it sticking might be pretty tough.
When stuff costs too much anymore. I mean, if prices were like they were 5, 6 years ago, maybe maybe I would have a different opinion. And I know I've talked to people that have a completely different opinion than me. And like I say, that's perfectly fine. Um, that's just my opinion. I know you and I've talked about it a lot. I'm not saying I've bought cattle. I've got cattle in my pasture that are really good cows that are producing good calves, and I have not the slightest idea what their pedigrees are, you know, because we have stepped out there. So I'm not saying I won't ever do it. I'm just saying, if we're talking about a new breeder, and we're still a newer breeder, it's just, I feel like you're setting yourself up for success if you'll look into those pedigrees a little more than, and again, it's not the end all be all. They have to have, like Bruce said, they have to have the phenotype, they have to have the quality. They can't have bad feet. Everything that goes into that. It's just, I think I hold the pedigrees maybe higher than some people. I don't know, but that's just, that was why it was my favorite.
Well, I mean, like I said, I agree with you on that one for sure. I mean, not else to say
I mean,
about that.
I might get in trouble, but it's okay. We're welcome. We welcome all people on here to discuss differences with us. So,
Speaking of that, before we do run out of time, but going into the new year, like I said, if we're about to take a break for the holidays, if there's something like, and we actually have had people kind of comment in the last few weeks about things for us to talk about that we're going to kind of take off with at the first of the year. But if there's something you want us to talk about, please send it in. That way we can bring it up and or have people come home and talk about it or something like that. Uh, we try to, I think, going into I guess our third year now, we're a lot more comfortable with how to do it. Um, hopefully, we're going to have a lot more good conversation coming up in this coming year.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and if you want to come on and talk to us about a subject, if you want to say, "Hey, I want to talk," let's talk about this subject. We're open to it. We like to try to keep it positive, but obviously, we're okay with taking on sometimes tougher discussions and putting our opinions in there. We always want to do it in a positive light.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. But and one of the, I won't bring it up too much, but one of the questions we got uh, here recently, was kind of a negative thing in the past, but we needed to talk about it because it's a reality and something that we can talk about and discuss, and looking forward to talking about that when we get there.
And hopefully, that may be one of the first things we talk about with the new year. That might be a good one to start off with, anyway. So, but as Jared said, we're going to take the month of December off to spend with our families, and this is a blast to do. There's times that we're recording the night before this thing releases. There's times that we can record 2 or 3 episodes in a couple of day span, and we get 2 months ahead, where it's kind of that makes it a lot easier because I mean, life happens, things happen. Sometimes one of us is on vacation and it's just one of us on here, but it's a blast, but it's a lot of work. It's a very time consuming. And we decided when we were doing this that we were going to take the whole month of December off just to kind of reset, spend time with the families, and drum up new ideas for the next year. And so we appreciate you all letting us do that. Um, if you would like to become a show sponsor for 2024, please let us know. Message us, message Jared or I personally, message the banner page, anything like that. Feel free to do that. We're going to try to set a deadline of December 31st for commitments. And we can work payment out later. You can do it monthly, 6 months, a year, whatever you'd like to do. But trying to do that so we don't have to keep re-recording our thank you post. Makes things go a little smoother when I don't have to try to remember and hope I'm not forgetting somebody's name every time I go to do it. But if you'd like to do that, we would really appreciate it. All the money, neither Jared nor I, neither one take a dime from this. Period. Not even not a penny. Everything goes to advertising and to we support. I think we did the JBBA National Convention this year, and things like that. So all the money goes straight back into the breed and back into advertising this podcast to try to get more listeners. So, but yeah, so if you'd like to be one, I think I've talked on that long enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, just let us know. And again, that's about all the time we've got for tonight. We just wanted to kind of do a year in review and talk about the convention and some things coming up. Looking forward to 2024 and season 3 of our podcast. I can't wait to start back. I miss it every year when we stop in December, but I'm glad we get to do what we do, and I'm really glad that you folks are liking the podcast.
Yeah, we definitely appreciate all the support. That's one thing that I always look forward to if I do go to a meeting or sell or something like that, talking with folks about different episodes and what they liked about it, and getting ideas from folks and things like that. So it's definitely been fun, and look forward to getting better at it maybe and doing more, uh, getting into some more subjects next year and having another good year.
Absolutely. I think we dove a little deeper this year. Hopefully we can dive a little even deeper next year. So
Oh, that's right.
thank you to all of our guests that's come on this year. Um, some of which I hope, well, all of which I hope we have on again, because I think that all of our subjects we could talk for days about. But I hope you all have a happy Thanksgiving, a Merry Christmas, and please don't forget the reason for the season is Jesus. And hope y'all have a happy New Year.
Right back at you, buddy.
And but normally I'll say we'll see you on the next episode, but I guess we'll see you next year. Have a good one.
You too. See.
Well, we want to thank everybody for listening to the Beefmaster Banner podcast. Please know that we are on Apple Podcast, Spotify, and we are on YouTube. Just search Beefmaster Banner. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. We love hearing from you. And we'll see you on the next episode. Thank you.